The Green Lantern Corps stands for willpower, order, and intergalactic justice. But behind the glowing rings and oaths of courage lie some of the darkest moments in DC history. From murder and betrayal to cosmic genocide and personal collapse, the legacy of the Lanterns is soaked in far more than green light. These aren't your typical heroic stories. They're moments that shook the Corps, the galaxy, and the fans alike. Today on Explained Comics, we dive deep into the most disturbing, brutal, and unforgettable moments in Green Lantern comics. Hal Jordan becomes Parallax, Coast City destroyed. The darkest moment in Green Lantern history begins with the annihilation of Coast City, Hal Jordan's home, at the hands of Mongol and the cyborg Superman in Superman number 80 and Green Lantern, Volume 3, number 46. The destruction kills 7 million people, including Hal's friends and family. Grieving and emotionally shattered, Hal seeks to use his ring to recreate the city, only to be punished by the Guardians for violating the Lantern Code. This rejection pushes Hal over the edge. He slaughters the entire Green Lantern Corps, absorbs the central power battery, and becomes the entity known as Parallax. This isn't just a fall from grace. It's a complete psychological collapse, turning the universe's greatest lantern into its greatest threat. The mass execution of the Alpha Lanterns. During Green Lantern Corps events like War of the Green Lanterns, the Guardians established the Alpha Lanterns. Lanterns fused with Manhunter tech to act as an internal police force. But in Green Lantern Corps, Volume 2, number 24 to 26, things take a brutal turn. The Guardians, increasingly detached and tyrannical, order the destruction of the Alpha Lanterns, deeming them obsolete. Lantern John Stewart is forced to execute Alpha Lantern Varix, who begs for death rather than continue as a corrupted enforcer. It's a moment that shows how the Guardians' pursuit of control leads to cruelty, and how Lanterns like Stewart must carry out impossible moral decisions. Crib, the child-stealing Sinestro Corps member. One of the most horrifying villains in Sinestro Corps War is Crib, a monstrous alien who targets Green Lanterns with families. She hunts down Lanterns who've had children, kills the parents, and steals their infants, storing them inside her ribcage like trophies. In Green Lantern Corps, Volume 2, number 31 to 32, Crib nearly kills Lanterns Iolande and Vath, and she almost escapes with multiple kidnapped babies. Her grotesque appearance and maternal obsession make her one of the most nightmarish members of the Sinestro Corps, a true example of what happens when fear is weaponized on a psychological level. John Stewart kills Mogo. In War of the Green Lanterns number 10, the planet-sized lantern Mogo becomes corrupted by Parallax's influence. As Mogo begins pumping corrupted rings into space, John Stewart makes an unthinkable decision. He uses a photon bomb to kill Mogo before more rings can be distributed. The act saves the Corps but comes at an enormous emotional cost. Stewart, already traumatized by the destruction of Xanshi, adds another world to his conscience. Killing a fellow Lantern, one who had saved countless lives, defines Stewart's legacy in both valor and tragedy. Lyra's execution at the hands of Sinestro. Lyra, a loyal Green Lantern and former Red Lantern, is captured during the Sinestro Corps War and sentenced by Sinestro himself. In Green Lantern Corps, Volume 2, number 20, she begs for the chance to redeem herself, but Sinestro refuses and executes her in front of the Corps. It's a moment of pure, brutal symbolism. Sinestro, asserting his dominance by erasing one of the Corps' most emotionally complex members. The scene is brief but devastating, and it cements Sinestro's rule-by-fear tactics as more than just ideology, they're personal. The Guardians create the Third Army. In Green Lantern, Volume 5, number 13 to 17, the Guardians grow disillusioned with the Corps and attempt to replace them by creating the Third Army, a horde of faceless, soulless drones that consume individuals and absorb them into a hive mind. The Third Army doesn't kill, it erases identity. Victims are liquefied and assimilated, often while still conscious. It's a body horror arc that showcases the Guardians' ultimate fall into authoritarianism, and how far they're willing to go to preserve their power. Hal Jordan kills the Guardians. during the climax of Green Lantern Volume 5. Number 20, Hal Jordan willingly dies to release Black Hand from the Dead Zone and defeat the Guardians. But what makes this moment even darker is that he directly kills the Guardians who betrayed the Corps. After everything they put the Lanterns through, betraying the Alpha Lanterns, creating the Third Army, nearly ending the emotional spectrum, Hal executes them without hesitation. It's justice, yes, but it's also revenge. Sinestro sacrifices Korugar. In his most cold-blooded moment, Sinestro allows his home planet, Korugar, to be destroyed during Wrath of the First Lantern. When Volthoom offers him the power to alter reality, Sinestro chooses to bond with Parallax once again, even if it means letting Korugar die. This solidifies Sinestro's identity. Guy Gardner breaks and goes red. Guy Gardner has always been a wildcard, brave, loyal, and hot-headed. But in Red Lanterns, Volume 1, after repeated failures and betrayals, he loses control of his rage and joins the Red Lantern Corps. Watching a Lantern of Will give in to pure rage isn't just tragic, it's terrifying. Guy, now unable to speak and vomiting napalm-like blood, lashes out at friend and foe alike. His internal struggle, being consumed by rage while still trying to do good, makes him one of the most emotionally dark Lantern stories ever written. Volthoom's torture of the Corps. Volthoom, the First Lantern, was once a time traveler corrupted by the emotional spectrum. In Wrath of the First Lantern, he doesn't physically destroy the Corps. He mentally tortures them, rewinding time and forcing them to relive their worst memories, regrets, and darkest failures. Hal, John, Guy, and even Sinestro are broken psychologically, reliving failures like Xanshi, Coast City, and Korugar on loop. Volthoom doesn't seek death. He seeks despair. And for a moment, he almost wins. The Green Lantern Corps may wield the light of willpower, but their history is shadowed by fear, loss, and tragedy. From genocide to emotional collapse, these stories prove that courage isn't the absence of darkness. It's the will to face it anyway. Which moment hit you the hardest? Which one do you think defines the Corps the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives every week, only on Explained Comics.